Hi, everyone. I'm Allison O'Shea, and I'm the founder of Openly Aging. I'm so glad you're here. I spent over 20 years as an executive in senior living. I ran really large communities, supported thousands of families, and witnessed every version of an aging journey, the intentional, empowered ones, and the crisis driven ones that forced families to make difficult decisions. And through all of that, I learned something surprising. Most people move into assisted living for reasons that could have been prevented with a little more education, support, and strategy. So, today I'm sharing the three biggest lessons I learned that help people stay out of assisted living longer, if not forever, and keep control of their aging journey. So, lesson one, your environment will either support your independence or slowly erode it. The first and most foundational lesson is this: where you live matters just as much as how you live. Many assisted living moves start with a fall, a hospitalization, or a slow decline, all of which often tie back to a home that no longer supports the person living in it. I saw homes with dim or inconsistent lighting, steps and thresholds that became tripping hazards, bathrooms that required balance and flexibility to navigate, layouts that made daily tasks unnecessarily difficult, and maintenance tasks that were overwhelming or truly unsafe to manage. People set up their homes for the version of themselves they are now, not the version they are becoming. Small modifications can help. Improved lighting, grab bars, decluttering, safer pathways. All of these can prevent the very incidents that lead to assisted living. But here's something I saw repeatedly. Sometimes the most strategic move is leaving the home, not because you can't live there, but because the home no longer supports your independence. And that doesn't mean moving to assisted living. Sometimes the move is to a 55 plus community, independent living, a senior apartment, a condo, or just a smaller home. And here's why these environments often extend independence: less maintenance to do or oversee, no more yard work, roof issues, repairs, or managing contractors. Less to maintain means more energy for the things that matter. An environment designed to reduce risk, better lighting, accessible layouts, and built in safety features protect mobility and prevent falls. Social connection creates community, purpose, and daily engagements help people stay mentally and emotionally healthy. They may have transportation and amenities. These reduce dependence and make daily routines easier. I saw countless individuals move to independent living or a 55 plus community and end up staying out of assisted living far longer because the environment protected their independence. I'll do a full video soon breaking down the differences between these options, but for now, remember, sometimes the first strategic step to staying out of assisted living is moving out of a home that no longer supports your independence, physically, socially, or logistically. Lesson two, bring in practical weekly support before you think you need it. Another clear pattern I saw during my 20 years in senior living was this: the people who stayed independent the longest were the ones who brought in small, practical support early, before life started to feel overwhelming. And I'm not talking about caregiving. I'm talking about everyday support that frees up your time, energy, and mental bandwidth. This may look like weekly housekeeping, grocery delivery or help shopping, lawn and yard support, a handy person for minor tasks, or someone who helps for a few hours a week to keep things organized, almost like a personal assistant. These supports protect independence because they remove pressure and keep your life running smoothly. And here's why bringing them in early matters. Number one, you choose people you feel comfortable with. You build trust long before you ever truly need them. Two, you stay ahead of overwhelm. Decline often begins with stress and too many tasks piling up. And three, you save your energy for meaningful parts of life. When the basics are supported, you have more capacity for social connection, movement, and hobbies. Four, it becomes part of your routine. Support feels natural, not intrusive. Five, you build a trusted network before life changes. If something unexpected happens, you aren't starting from zero. The people who stayed independent longest weren't the ones doing everything alone. They were the ones who intentionally built a support structure around themselves early. Lesson 3. People stay out of assisted living longer when they understand their options. One of the biggest reasons people end up in assisted living isn't because their health suddenly changed. It's because they didn't understand their options early enough to make a different choice. After 20 years of senior living, I saw this over and over. People wait until something happens, a fall, a hospitalization, a sudden shift, and only then start trying to understand the landscape of aging services. And when you're in crisis, your choices shrink. But the individuals who stayed independent the longest did one thing differently. They educated themselves early. They understood what services actually exist. Most people don't know the difference between home care and home health, what Medicare covers, what a care manager does, or how rehab works. Once you understand the purpose of each resource, you make strategic decisions instead of reactive ones. These people also understood what these services cost and what fits in their budget. People stayed independent longest when they understood what they could realistically afford and made choices that protected both independence and their resources. Intentional people also understood the early warning signs. They didn't wait for a crisis. They responded to small changes by making small proactive adjustments. They understood the different living environments to extend their independence and what they could afford. They knew what independent living, 55 plus communities, condos, senior apartments cost. And if they couldn't afford those environments, they made their home their long-term setting with the right support and realistic plan. They understand that knowledge gives them choices, and choices keep them in control. The people who stayed independent longest weren't surprised. They weren't scrambling. They were informed. And because they were informed, they remained in the driver's seat. Education isn't about preparing for decline. It's about empowering yourself so you don't end up in assisted living simply because you didn't know what else was possible. Before I wrap up, I want to acknowledge something important. There are truly unpredictable life events, strokes, illnesses, sudden changes that none of us can avoid. Sometimes assisted living becomes the right or necessary choice. But what we covered today are the common patterns I saw over 20 years. The situations where small adjustments, early support, and simple education could have preserved independence, reduced cost, and protected choice. My mission now is to take everything I learned in senior living and help you build a roadmap before you ever need one. Independence isn't luck. Independence is strategy. If this helped you, please hit the subscribe, share this video, and check out the links for more resources. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for choosing to age intentionally.